Lara Mori, Italia. Uliana Pereminosova, Russia. Jessica Dowling, Canada.
Introduction of the competitors in this women's balance beam competition.
Sushihara, Japan. Carlotta Ferlito, Italy.
Two gymnasts from the host nation, in case you hadn't picked up by the enormous roar.
Hitomi Takeda, Japan. Yan Yinji, Hong Kong.
The start list for the women's balance beam competition. Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation, second strongest in qualifying, goes third in the order. Carlotta Ferlito, the third strongest, goes at number 6. And penultimate gymnast to compete will be the top qualifier, Hitomi Takeda of Japan, who's going for yet another gold medal. Can she achieve it? Can she manage 4 at this Universiade? That would be something extraordinary. Just a chance for a moment of clarification as well, as the Italian fans get themselves warmed up and ready to enjoy the work of Carlotta Ferlito and Lara Mori. The men's vault competition. Igor Sharankov and Luis Porto ending up with the same total score, 14.35 for both of those competitors, but the separation criteria immediately looks at the single highest scoring vault, and Sharankov just marginally won that one, which is why, even though they had the same score, Sharankov takes the silver and Porto takes the bronze. Uliana Perebinosova going through her warm-up process. Jess Dowling of Canada, she was the 8th strongest in qualification. Well, the fascinating thing about this balance beam competition is when you actually look at the qualification scores, there is not a huge amount of what I sometimes refer to as daylight between the competitors. Now, top qualifier, Hitomi Takeda, 13.1. But then when you get to the second strongest, which is Uliana Perebinosova, 12.85. And then let's take a little jump down the order. Carlotta Ferlito, third best, 12.85. Fourth strongest, Lara Mori, 12.85. Fifth strongest in this whole process was Aiko Sugihara, and she scored, look, you don't need me to carry on with this, it's 12.85. The sixth strongest, and that was the gymnast from Hong Kong, Yan Ying, and she scored 12.8. So the gap between second and sixth position is half a tenth, which means we could be in for an extremely close contest. Sometimes those qualification scores really do pan out in the final. They really are significant. Other times, everything can change. Lara Mori's mother has been a ever-present figure throughout this competition. She's been so proud to be here and supporting her daughter A lot of the Mori family have come along to enjoy the competition. Indeed, the Japanese gymnasts have also been extremely well supported. There's a great travelling contingent of Japanese fans that travel around the world to support their team. It's been a shorter journey for Lara Mori's parents. Montevecchia, North Italian town, that's where Lara was born. Trip into the Mezzogiorno, the southern portion of Italy.
Stop warm-up. Barbara Mokosova, Slovakia.
The first gymnast to compete, Barbara Mokosova of Slovakia, 9th strongest in qualification, 12.4 for her. Her difficulty slightly lower than we'll see from other competitors, so reliant on the execution. Unfortunately, immediately on the mount loses a full mark. So a blink and you'll miss it moment. Not if you're a judge, of course. She's re-attained stability in this routine. It's nicely controlled. Dismounts really well. Well, everything after the first moment of that display was very sound from Barbara Mokosova. She'll look back at that moment again where it didn't quite happen on the mount. Just a fraction off, that's all. It's cruel, the balance beam. Only have to be off by a tiny, tiny amount, and that's the end of that. Recovered really nicely to produce a very fine dismount. Very gifted athlete, Mokosova. She's also a very keen snowboarder. She is approaching the end of her sports studies degree at Universiade.
Barbara Mokosova.
It's 11.55 for Barbara Mokosova, gymnast from Bratislava.
Mokosova in pedana. Lara Mori, Italia.
Now to Lara Mori, the 4th strongest qualifier, so she's definitely in with a shout. And she has delivered really impressive work on the balance beam so far. This is the big one. She's through the first bit. Stability and security in this routine was a key part of Italy's success in taking the team bronze. Now it's just her. She's there. Some fans are rather torn between calling out encouragement and being utterly silent. You can hear a few cheers, a few shushes around the field of play. It's a nervous Vesuvio. She doesn't seem nervous at all. Growing into this routine, actually. That was nice. Very well done by Lara Mori. Is it going to be good enough to contend for a medal? It's certainly going to ask the question. The camera operator's nearly sent flying by a jubilant Lara Mori and coach. Impressive, the camera operator avoided a full mark deduction. Kept on their feet very well. As did she. Not the easiest of mounts of the apparatus. This was very stable. Footwork actually does accentuate just how well managed that high leg split pirouette was. From an execution standpoint, perhaps it was a little less clean than the performance she delivered in the qualification. Maybe a couple of more wobbly moments, but not a lot. Only score we've had in so far is Barbara Mokashova, and this will almost certainly go into first place, but for how long? Because Perebinosova is up next. She was the second strongest, but all of these gymnasts, this group of 2 through to 5, they were all on the same score. It was just down to the execution tiebreakers. And there are some very experienced judges, not just as judges, but as competitors. The odd world champion here and there, watching on, making their assessment. So just a reminder, 12.85 in qualification for Lara Mori, 4th best performer, but all down to execution, really. Three gold medals did Lara Mori at the Mediterranean Games last year. She was the only Italian gymnast, male or female, who won gold medals. She had teammate Giada Grisetti, who took a medal on the balance beam. One of the things you will have heard me talk about if you've been watching the competition since it started, how she's been performing really well in the domestic league in the Serie A of gymnastics in Italy, and how that's been a great confidence build for Lara Mori. And she has looked every inch the confident gymnast in this competition. Going to celebrate her 21st birthday at the end of this month. Bit of deliberation going on. Quite a long period of time the judges are spending looking at this, but it doesn't matter as long as they get it right. That's what they will try to do. It does give Juliana Perebinosova a little bit of thinking time, maybe more than she'd like to have. So it's 12.85 for Lara Mori. She's gained a couple of tenths on difficulty. She's lost a couple of tenths on execution. So she's exactly where she was in the qualification, or after the qualification. She's in the gold medal position at the moment. Now to Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation. Another 12.85 score in qualifying. Second best because her difficulty was a touch low, her execution was very good. very strong competition so far, a couple of silver medals. That was really steady from Perebinosova. Never did that seem particularly in doubt as a routine. Really good central mark set on those wolf turns, didn't deviate from it. That's the moment where she brought that under control quite quickly and quite well. Almost unnoticeable. Judges might think she could have got the knees tucked in a little bit tighter in the dismount. Very difficult for a gymnast to do that when they're not really very high off the ground at all in the first place. But it's another display of very good execution from Uliana Perebinosova. Although her difficulty might not be as high as some of the competitors we're going to see, if it does come down to an execution tiebreaker, well, she could find herself in a similar sort of position as she was in qualification. Jess Dowling is getting ready to compete.
Perebinosova, beam. Total score 12-80, 12.800.
It's a score of 12.8 for Perebinosova. Now she's lost a tenth from a difficulty point of view, gained half a tenth in execution, so just down slightly from qualifying. Second position for her. Mori is still in the lead. Jess Dowling of Canada, 8th strongest in qualifying. Oh, she just held it somehow. It was a prolonged moment of stabilisation from the 24-year-old. It was a good acrobatic sequence. As we saw with Mokashova, Dowling has really settled into this display. A gymnast from Ontario's the University of Guelph. She's got a sight set on further study in the field of genetics and nutrition. Aspiring to get a master's degree undertaken pretty soon. This was the moment where she really struggled. Interesting to see what the judges think about how she went about stabilising that. The role, if anything, that the hands played, or whether that was in fact the start of the next sequence. Certainly wasn't the tidiest of moments of stabilisation.
Jessica Dowling, Canada, total score 12.05.
So it's 12.05 for Jess Dowling. It's a little bit down in qualifying by around about 4/10.
Sorry. Aiko Tsuchigara, Japan.
Aiko Sugihara of Japan next to compete was briefly announced as being Carlotta Felito. But it is indeed the 5th strongest qualifier, Sugihara. This is a sense of elegance to it. Now this is where she did have some problems in the all-around and again. Not for the first time in this competition, attempting that turn that she has so successfully popularised. Been a bronze medal on the balance beam at the very prestigious NHK Trophy in Japan recently. That's for the top performers in the national championships. Got ourselves a fascinating balance beam final developing. Sugihara was at 12.85 in qualification. Will find herself somewhat counted out of things. It's not far away again. It's not far away on the balance beam. Invariably ends up being so far away. Points like this I always suggest to any of you out there who are new to the sport and watching a balance beam competition for the first time. Just pop out into the garden and draw a line, a chalk line about your foot in width, about 10 centimetres, and just contemplate how easy that is to traverse. When a gymnast is excelling on the balance beam, it looks like the widest thing in the world. And once you get up close to a balance beam, it really isn't. Of course, one of the reasons why it's one of the most exciting pieces of apparatus to watch.
Aiko Tsuchigara.
Well, she's done enough to move into the bronze medal position, Sugihara. 12.55. So this is how things stand with 3 gymnasts to go. We've got Mori leading, Peribinosova in 2nd place, Sugihara in 3rd. 12.85 the leading mark, 12.8 the silver, 12.55 the bronze. To Carlotta Felito of Italy. There's a gap opened here if she can take it. Has been a silver medalist on the balance beam at the Youth Olympic Games. She's held it. Almost there. Very nearly there. And finally, to the immense relief of the crowd in the Pala Vesuvio, there. Well, Italy are laying down a supreme challenge for gold in this balance beam final. Mori leading the way. Felito might well be up there too. And you just get the sense that They won't really care which way it goes on the podium. If it's one of them, they'll be delighted. It's been great to see Felito, such a high-profile athlete of these games. She was very heavily involved in the lighting of the flame at the opening ceremony. It took place at the Stadio San Paolo. And then part of the team that took the bronze medal in the women's competition. She has for such a long time been such a known gymnast in her home nation. She might be about to get even more well known. A little reminder of the great work of Carlotta Felito on the balance beam. The question is going to be, where does she fit in terms of Mori, Perebinosova and Sugihara? Is she going to be able to squeeze into those gold or silver positions? Is she going to be able to get beyond Sugihara? Still 2 to go, and the top qualifier is one of them. A gymnast who keeps winning when she competes. Not quite for Felito. 12.4 is the score. Difficulty of 4.8 she's been given. And that's interesting because she had a 5.3 in qualifying. Now, Hitomi Hadakeda of Japan has got to contend with just a little bit of noise from the crowd. By and large, they've stopped that as she's about to perform. So here is the work of the top qualifier. 13.1 was her score. She's just looking so very hard to dislodge at the moment. Very reliable displays. She has been the standout performer of gymnastics at these games in terms of what she's won. Team gold, all-around gold, uneven bars gold. Is a 4th gold medal about to follow for Hitomi Hadakeda. It's a performance of exceptional composure. Really just fantastic. This could be the big challenge to the lead established by Lara Mori. Italy are guaranteed another medal because Mori is in first position with just 2 scores to come in. Is Hadakeda going to go into first place once more? She certainly is. She hasn't seen the score come through yet. She's seen it now. She's got 13, and Hitomi Hadakeda, similar reaction to the uneven bars mark. She's gone into the gold medal position. She might be about to get number 4. The last competitor, Nyan Yin of Hong Kong. 6th strongest in qualification, 12.8. Now, it's certainly by no means out of the question this gymnast could actually impose herself upon the podium. Did well to hold that. She is very much a specialist on the balance beam. Did participate in the Asian Games and Asian Championships balance beam qualification. Missed out on the final, but she's taking full opportunity in this final. Could be a little bit of a costly moment. There's been a few of them now. Visible moments of stabilising. But a very good display from Nyan Yin. Now, whether she's done enough, considering that she was at 12.8 in qualification, to get onto the podium, because 12.8 is the mark required to secure a medal. It's just the problem is that it's an 8 execution score that's occupying bronze, so realistically she's got to go beyond that. She did have higher difficulty in Perebinosova if we look at qualification, a 5 if she gets everything she's attempting. It'll be a good race for bronze, a good fight from the gymnast from Hong Kong.
12-10 per Yayin-G. Punteggio finale 12.100.
So it is Hadakeda 1, Mori 2, Perebinosova 3. Will there be any change as this final score comes in from Nyan Yin of Hong Kong? Hasn't quite got there. Did get the 5 difficulty, but it's a 12.1 score overall for her. She's in 6th position, and that means there's a huge roar because Lara Mori has taken a silver medal. She led for much of that competition. Highest difficulty score of anyone in the top 3. It's the bronze for Uliana Perebinosova of the Russian Federation, the silver for Lara Mori of the host nation, Italy, and the gold, once again, another gold, a 4th gold for Hitomi Hadakeda of Japan. She is unstoppable.
Apparatus Final Men Parallel Bars. Li Qingkai, Chinese Taipei. Marco Sarruggerio, Italia. Kazuma Kaya, Japan. Hamet On